Sorry, I'm a little late, everyone. I'm had some technical difficulties with the Wi-Fi. But as always, before I get started, let me know if you can hear me, so I'm not talking to myself. I have a new setup, so I'll put it in the chat as well. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. So perfect, awesome. So I don't know what everyone's positions are, but how are you feeling about today in the crypto market? There is a lot of this is just concrete evidence that there is a lot of growth in the crypto market remaining, and you're feeling sick. No, there's no need to be sick. This is an exciting time, and it's just letting you know as far as like the um, this unfamiliar like territory that we're in, and also the expansion of the crypto market, and also letting you know how quickly things can change. I don't think Elon abandoned Doge. No, I don't think that um, has anything to do with it. I posted a video earlier today, and I went over the cycles, and I think all cryptos kind of go through this cycle. I called it the wealth flow chart, and I posted it like a few months ago. But I think all cryptos go through this cycle, and it's not unique to any particular coin, and they don't go through them simultaneously. They all have their own, timing as far as we're going through it. So um, I think that has a big part to do with it. Mm, Feeling good about Shiba. Do I think this will continue? Yeah, Shiba is flirting with the top 10. I know that it fell in and out of the top 10 today. So I mentioned this in my video. The sweet spot as far as for getting institutional money and for kind of having like that really close association with like the big three, like Bitcoin, and Ethereum, etc. So it's going to be in that top 10 range. So you can kind of get like a boost on the next bull cycle if you're in that range there. So if they can hold that position, they can get a pretty decent boost coming up. So that's can be a very good catalyst as far as pushing them forward. I'll answer a few more questions, and I'm going to go over my. I have like 3 talking points for tonight, and then we can just chat for a while. Let's see. I think Doge is going to blindside people. Yeah, everyone has that consolidation period. If Bitcoin went through it, like Ethereum goes through it. Like no matter what, you can call them meme coins or whatever you want to call them. They're all going to go through their cycles. They're going to have their initial interest. They're going to have their catalyst. They're going to have retail rush in. They're going to have institutional money. They're going to have FOMO rush in, and then they're going to have a correction when people start taking profits, and then they have a consolidation, and we repeat the cycle. So, you can definitely know that any particular coin, you can't necessarily count them out because it's not moving as fast as you'd like it to. So you got to have, and if you look at the crypto market is really new to begin with. And I was talking about this like with a friend about an hour ago. And if you look at the timing, especially of these like meme coins, quote unquote, it normally takes about a year or so before they can, after they gain like the initial public interest, before you see like that really big boom. So I think Doge and Shiba kind of align with that perfectly. Okay, so I'll scroll up, and then I'm gonna cover my few talking points, and then I'll scroll up, and then I'll do some questions here. So the biggest thing I wanted to talk about was why is Shiba seemingly not affected by what's going on in the market, and the crypto market is booming. The S&P 500 is down. No, excuse me. The crypto market is going the opposite direction. Shiba is booming, and the S&P 500 is tanking as well. And I've seen this on a number of portfolios today. But the S&P 500, you can kind of say that's unrelated. But the crypto market in general, typically it likes to trend together. And I've seen this on several occasions where people were actually moving crypto around to invest in Shiba, even to the tune of Bitcoin. I've seen several people sell 5 figures of Bitcoin to catch the upswing of Shiba. So when you have a red market, you'll see similar things like people say as far as like even with like AMC, like if the market is going down and even though no one is selling, you'll see that the short interest will increase or short shares will, to try and bring it down with the market as well. Because what you don't want is the market to be red and for something to be green, because that's just going to cause more attraction, excuse me, more attraction, and more people are going to run to that green thing to hedge themselves. So I believe that's what we're seeing here. That's one of the things that we're seeing here with Shiba is the fact that Shiba was naturally having the momentum anyway, and now on a red day, it's green. So you're going to see people say, "Okay, I'm going to hedge my losses today. Who knows how high this is going to go? So I'm going to hedge my losses with this, with the only thing that's green today." And plus, if you look at the momentum, it doesn't seem like it's going to slow down right now. So people are typically going to rush to that to try and hedge their losses. Number two, if you look at search volume, just across the country and across different countries, even like on Google, you'll see that Shiba is trending in several countries. This is putting it at the forefront as far as for in the investment community. And you'll see like some of the top searches are how do I buy Shiba? Where do I buy Shiba? Will it be on Robinhood? And you can compare that to something like what we saw earlier this year with Dogecoin. When you have that momentum, there's really nothing you can do to kind of stop that. So when you have the momentum as far as for the media, because I know it has several placements today as far as for the gains and it being up. Even this morning, it was up like 30, 40% in the last 24 hours. So the media is propelling it. Of course, it's producing the numbers. There's really not much you can do to kind of step into that momentum. And another catalyst came out. I think Earn Your Leisure posted it, and they said that $1 invested into Shiba like in the last 12 months would have netted you around $600,000 today. And I want to use that to transition to kind of give an idea of where we are in the crypto market in general, because the crypto market is in its infancy stages. The crypto market is going to grow and it's going to get much bigger than what it is right now. And again, this is another post by EYL. It's a great point. The entire crypto market now is worth about 2.1 trillion. That's a lot of money. Apple alone is worth about $2 trillion. So we're not talking about the entire stock market. We're not talking about all the available money. We're talking about a very, very, very small portion of the overall wealth or the money that can be invested is actually inside the crypto market. We're literally playing with a infant compared to like the actual stock market and where this can actually go. The overall market is going to see multiples of what it is now. So if you kind of take that approach and say, okay, as you should, as far as saying, okay, what's my 5-year, 10-year approach, and not necessarily just saying what is my coin going to do, but what is the crypto market going to do? What is the crypto market going to look like in 2031? What's the market? What's the overall cap of the market going to look like in 2031? Is it going to be more than what it is now? Is it going to be less? You take that and you have, of course, you have your favorite cryptos, you have your leading catalysts, and say, okay, what are these coins going to be like? If they have this much market share now, is it going to increase? Is it going to decrease based off of the amount of new capital coming in? And you use that as a way to decide as far as for your investments and whether or not you think certain coins are dead. The crypto market, like we're going to see the crypto market, it took about 12 years to reach $1 trillion in value. It took less than 18 months to hit $2 trillion in value. And we are already about a tenth of the way to $3 trillion in value in less than a year. Let's not forget, this is the biggest boom of retail investment that the world has ever seen this year. Robinhood was the number one traded app on the App Store, a finance app. This is above Facebook, above any games, Instagram, TikTok. Robinhood was was the number one traded app this year. There is a lot of new money in here, and there's a lot of new investors in here this year. And this is going to really change the catalyst. It's going to shorten a lot of cycles. A lot of data is going to have to be redone. But this is going to provide an immense opportunity as far as for the early investors, not necessarily in a particular coin, because I know some people get caught up in that. And it does matter. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but in the crypto market overall, you can consider yourself a pioneer if you're in the crypto market right now. I feel very comfortable saying that because this is before regulation. I know we've gotten the attention of the government and Gary Gensler, and as far as we're setting up guidelines, and we are literally blazing the trail to set the foundation as far as for this new wealth transfer. The crypto market is going to make a lot of millionaires, and it already has. And I believe as we see this boom and as we see the crypto market overall go from 2 trillion to 4 to 6 to 10, it's going to be a lot of wealth flowing in and out of the crypto market. And the fact that you can trade 24/7 now, that's just only going to add to the appeal. And I think that institutions, as time goes on and as we start seeing companies start trading and accepting crypto for payment, and you're adding credibility to a lot of these cryptos, these institutions are gonna feel a lot more comfortable putting more money into it than what we've even seen. Because I feel like right now they're testing the waters. So you can expect a lot of big booms coming up here in the next few years, and I think that we have a long way to go in the crypto market. And as far as for us being pioneers, we're going to see some really great gains. So I'm going to look at some of the questions here because I wanted to chat with everyone, see what everyone's mind is. Let's see. If you have questions, put them in the chat. I'm going to answer as many as I can that I feel I know the answer to. Has she passed Doge yet? Why is Robinhood taking so long to list Shiba? Shiba and Doge, it was in the top 10 and then it dropped out. I think it's back in the top 10 now. So if it's in there, I believe it has surpassed Doge as far as for a market cap. Robinhood, I know they missed out on a fortune as far as for this overall rally, but we see even Coinbase is having trouble meeting the demand. And if I'm Robinhood, based off of my history and everything that happened this year, unless I was absolutely certain that I could handle the demand without a repeat of what I did earlier this year, I would rather not touch it than to get myself involved with it and pretty much double down on everyone's thoughts and emotions from earlier this year. You don't want to reopen any old wounds because this has happened with Doge and AMC. Well, particularly even with the GameStop, we've seen this like habitually. So unless they're absolutely sure that can we do this without a hiccup so that we're not bringing this into the fourth quarter, I would absolutely stick away from it. So I believe that's kind of one of the things that's kind of Robinhood is kind of weighing out, because they would make a lot of money on crypto, because we saw like their earnings statements, which is a little disappointing. So I think that's one of the things that they're absolutely working out, because as of right now, if I'm Robinhood, it's not worth the risk. Unless I was like absolutely certain. Cardano, I don't think any of the all cryptos after runs and stuff, they take a rest. I don't think any of them are particularly stagnant right now. I think that you have ones that are at, because I made a chart. It's in my last video that I posted 2 hours ago today, and it's called the wealth flow chart, and it goes through the cycles of crypto. All cryptos are somewhere on this chart, and they go through different ones at different stages. And so, but some of them have periods of rest and they don't all necessarily run together. I know in Bitcoin runs, you can typically get like a spike or something out of the rest of the market, but they don't all necessarily run together. But they're all at different points. And at some points, you'll have periods of rest or consolidation. And if you compare it to the other coins in the market, it's going to say, oh my God, it's stagnant or it's dead. Why isn't it running with the rest of them? And it's just, they don't always necessarily run in packs. You typically get like reactions, but with the crypto market being so new and the fact that it's not institutions controlling the market as much as they do the stock market, and it's more so retail, we're going to more so chase the cryptos that are booming. We're mostly going to move our money around and kind of double down on those. That's why you have all these like moonshots versus someone like an institution when they come in and say, hey, look, we got a few $1 trillion. So let's just spread them out across the board. And then you have the entire market rise together. So I think that's one of the catalysts that even for Shiba, that what we did today, you'll see that other cryptos started going the other way as Shiba started going even higher. And I'm sure you probably have seen a bunch in your different chats and stuff like that. People are selling other cryptos and moving to the one that's moving. And when you have a market that's primarily controlled by retail, I believe that we're going to see a lot of that. So we'll have things that are seen stagnant while one is really booming or seem like it's retracting. So I don't necessarily think it's an indicator of how that crypto is going to perform long term. I just think it's just short term propaganda. Robinhood is losing a ton of money because they're not listing Shiba. Yeah, they definitely missed out on a lot of money, but again, as far as for damage control purposes, I don't think that it's worth it unless they can handle it, because if they do a repeat of earlier this year, I think now they're in a position that they can recover. I think Robinhood can mend relationships and kind of recover. But if they list Shiba and crash, or or those people get stuck in there again, oh my God, like I don't think they can come back from that. And if I'm on Robinhood, if I'm on the devs team, if I'm Vlad, like I'm like, hey, look, there's no guarantee. We see all these other servers are crashing, all these other websites. There's no guarantee that we can support that demand right now. Let's not risk it. That's where I'd be. So you can't go to 1 cent. It'll be too high unless the burns take place. Yeah, there's a lot of burns taking place. And it really just depends on how you want to play the coin, because even if it, I'm not sure if you're saying it has to go to 1 cent, but there's some people now who've gotten thousands or hundreds of percent of gain without it going to 1 cent. So it really just depends on how long you want to be in the coin, because if you can 5x within a month or so, I mean, you necessarily have to hang on until it goes to 1 cent. So it's just up to you as far as to decide when you want to take profits. Robinhood and Doge holders are kissing boots to Elon. I don't think Elon is a catalyst as far as for marketing, and we've seen that with Doge and with Shiba, even up until he said he didn't have any. I don't think it's like a do or die situation for Elon. He certainly can help, and I think most famous people can help. I mean, that's why we have celebrities advertising products. It's the power of influence. It's no difference from an Instagram influencer. They have that power to sway the masses. That's literally their job. Even if they don't take on that role as far as paid advertisement, but when you speak out on something, you have the ability to, if you're well known and you have respect, you can speak on something and it add credibility or take away. We've seen this with everything from like athletes to businessmen to even presidents. That's how the market works. So I don't think that, I think at the end of the day, despite a celebrity or whatever, whoever is like, whatever catalyst is pushing it, the community ultimately is the backbone for how strong a movement is or how strong a cryptocurrency is. And we've seen these communities build around certain cryptocurrencies. And I think that ultimately the community makes that decision. And of course, in the long term, innovation, and then you start getting into utility and profits and stuff like that. But short term, I think the community is more important than any one person, but that one person can sway the market short term and add credibility or take it away. Of course, it's going to crash. It's going up too fast. Yeah, everything so nothing goes up forever. It's not. Shiba's not going to be the one thing that just continuously goes up. Like nothing goes up forever. There'll be consolidations and pullbacks. That's just it wouldn't make sense, because if it never went back, that means nobody's ever going to take profit. And again, that doesn't make sense, and it defeats the purpose of investing. At that point, you're just making a donation. So yes, all cryptos are going to have pullback. So it's not that's not even a question. But yeah, I agree. It's definitely going to pull back at some point. Article saying Robinhood is waiting till after tax season to list. I had not heard that. Yeah, I mean, I guess they could. I don't know what the state of the crypto market is going to be then, or what cycle everything will be in then. But if they don't want to risk having like that stall out, that'll certainly be a safe bet, because that's technically like what, second quarter, late first quarter of the year. So that could be a safe bet for them. Robinhood said no to Shiba. Yeah, I think there's a catalyst that people are pretty much tagging them like on Twitter and stuff to list Shiba, just because it's one of the largest trading platforms. So it'll add a lot of accessibility. And that's a catalyst to kind of get a new audience to kind of buy in, and just give them access to buy into Shiba. And then, of course, if you have more access and a broader audience, that can be a catalyst to push the stock up. The coin up. Personally, I don't believe it'll have that dramatic of an effect, but we'll see. Because I think most people are pretty tired of Robinhood, and they feel some kind of way. So I don't think that, especially with the wallets not being out yet, I don't think most people are going to kind of flock to Robinhood and start stocking up on Shiba there. So as of right now, I don't think it'll have a dramatic effect either way. But when I put thought into it, I can see their point as far as for it adding that validity to it. See, I'm definitely at a hotel now. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I'm sorry, I'm not in my office, so I can't control the surroundings. Let's see. Hey, David, is the wealth flow chart you show off for altcoins the same as the main coins like BTC? Yes, that chart. Yeah, all coins are somewhere in that chart. That chart is pretty much like the concrete cycle as far as for the crypto market. So that's all of the coins. It doesn't matter if it's altcoins, BTC, whatever the case may be. That is the absolute cycle of wealth. Money flows. It tracks pretty much the initial start of a coin to the flow of money in and out by retail, by fear, by greed, and by institutions. That is the I don't believe I left anything out. Of course, if I did, I'll add to it, but I believe that is intact as far as for the cycle of the crypto market. Let's see, if I'm in Robinhood, I won't add the copy. Soon they'll say no and start big sell off and Shiba and pump to Doge. Yeah, I mean, everyone has their preferences. Like, again, I don't think that in general, I think the crypto market is going to have a large explosion in general, but I don't think that, ideally, I wouldn't want to see the communities kind of push against each other, because that's one thing. I don't want a lot of the things in the stock market to transfer over as far as for a lot of the rules, because I believe that they're rigged and they kind of lean more toward the benefit of institutions. But that is one thing that I wouldn't mind seeing transfer over to the crypto market, and that is to the point where you're not having the friction between communities. Because in the stock market, mostly people are there to actually just drive profit, and it's not, I won't say it's necessarily unity, but they all understand why they're there, and they're taking the same approach. They just have different beliefs, but they're pretty much taking the same approach as far as generating wealth. And it doesn't necessarily create any ill feelings toward the communities. So So that's probably like the only thing I could think of that would be, I believe, would be somewhat beneficial if that transferred over to the crypto market. If hyperinflation occurs, one's wealth and fiat will be destroyed. How will the world address this? Typically, based off of history, typically when hyperinflation occurs, um, if there's not a method of war or anything like that, typically they'll create a newer currency and then they'll attach it to something that has a fixed amount of value. And historically, this has been gold and silver. And then, of course, as always, they'll kind of start doing fractionals and then they'll branch off altogether. So this time, I don't know if they'll do a form of crypto or not. They've leveraged gold to like the moon and back. I mentioned this before, but there's more gold and paper ETFs than actually exist. So at that point, we can probably see a Fed coin if there's not one already out. And even with hyperinflation, what we've seen normally is that they're starting to pump money into several areas to get people to take on the debt. And because technically with hyperinflation in general, when you have like a runaway currency, the only way that you're going to generate the interest to kind of keep paying on the new currency is you have to attach it to a stationary object or something that people are going to continuously pay for and with interest. And if it's not gold or silver, to limit the amount of currency you're going to print, what we've been doing lately is real estate. We've always kind of used real estate as kind of like a hedge and to kind of pump money into with new loans and interest rates to kind of a place to kind of park money that we've printed and just continuously have people or new people and cycle them to continuously paying interest on them. The medical industry is one, which is a big one really, why we see several 100% increases year over year on medicine and hospital bills and just the whole pharmaceutical industry. That's another area where they dump a lot of the imprinted currency. And of course, student loans is a big one as well. And we've seen record costs. And when those get to the point where it's not enough, then at that point, historically, you go into the hyperinflation and we'll have to find something else to attach the currency to. But in the case of the US, it would be really dramatic because we're the reserve currency of the world. The amount of debt that we hold and the bonds and stuff to different countries. So that would actually be a lot more dramatic than it's difficult to find something to compare it to in history. But the US would have the capability of taking the world with it if we were to go into hyperinflation. So that would be really dramatic. And I don't know, there's really nothing that I have to kind of compare it to say how we would necessarily address that. But it would be borderline like Armageddon. I can say that. And I'm sorry, that was a really long answer, but yeah, those are my thoughts on that. Doge hasn't run up at all, unfortunately, but it's been a bit odd that when it runs up compared to others. Yeah, Doge has, again, there's always that consolidation period where things seem to be stagnant or kind of, I guess you can call it like a cooling off point. Doge's ran up, I believe, a high of like 11,000% this year. So, in my opinion, if an asset produces 11,000% return, it deserves to have a consolidation period. I like it's especially that Doge is. It seems that it's having like a consolidation period at around 33% of its all-time high. That's actually not a bad position compared to where the old cryptos correction periods last. Typically, we have the correction period after a crypto hits an all-time high of around 50 to 80%. So Doge is sitting at, I believe, what does that make it, like roughly 60% below its all-time high? Maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower, but based off of history, I know the numbers may be condensed a little more now, but based off of history, we've seen this be, if you're in that range, typically it's a healthy sign that you're going to, on your next rally, you'll reach a new all-time high. And again, the numbers could be changing. Maybe that range is widening or shortening because of the new amount of money in. But as of right now, I have no reason to um, say that it's acting abnormally, because I know there's a bunch of new money in, but crypto, prior to retail coming in, crypto had consolidation periods of anywhere from 4 to 11 months where it would just consolidate and literally move to the right. So as of right now, I don't have any concrete evidence to say that something's dead or not, because it just simply hasn't been enough time. 193 watches, 39 likes. Quit holding on. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. If you find any value, if I said anything that makes sense, definitely like the video. And if you're not a part of the family yet, consider subscribing to the channel. I appreciate all of you. This has been a phenomenal year for the channel. So definitely thank all of you for that. Let's see. Oh, sorry, my chat just refreshed and it just pushed everything up. Hold on. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of your comments now. Sorry, I was reading like some really old comments. It just refreshed and I just got like 100. Let's see. If those can be on Robinhood, why shouldn't Shiba? No. I believe that Shiba will certainly be on Robinhood one day. I just think that Robinhood is on a mission of damage control right now, and I think that the hottest, as of right now, it's undeniable that Shiba is the hottest cryptocurrency right now. And if you're Robinhood, that may not be financially, it's a good move. But as far as for longevity of your company and customer relations, that probably is not the best thing for you to do right now. So I think that Shiba will be on Robinhood, but I just don't think that now is the best time if you're Robinhood and you're trying to not be in a bankruptcy situation anytime soon. So I don't think that Robinhood should jump on Shiba just yet. Yeah, Coinbase did have a short crash. Yeah, Shiba was trending today in a number of categories. Um, and even the last time I checked, that they had almost a 90% hold rate. I believe it was, let me check here, 84.8% buy hold rate compared to the sell. So as far as for trending, as far as for interest, again, we've seen some of the number one searches was how do I buy Shiba? Where can I buy Shiba? When is it going to be on Robinhood? So, yeah, the demand was overwhelming for Coinbase, and I believe that's one of the reasons why Robinhood is like, no, not right now. So, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they're revamping something because they want to capitalize financially, and maybe we'll see a listing soon. But that's just my opinion. I don't believe that they'll list it right now. I think something big for coming for Dogecoin, calm before the storm. Yeah, I don't. Again, I don't. I know I've seen a lot of questions. I don't think that Dogecoin's dead or any of the cryptos in the top 10 are dead. That are top 10, top 15. I don't think that they're necessarily dead. But again, when you have all of them have that point where this one particular crypto is leading the market. Bitcoin's been in that this year. Dogecoin's obviously been at the front of that this year, and now Shiba's at the front of that this year. They're not like all of them have had their time in the spotlight, and they go through these cycles. And you can't just say why is this one coin up and the other one's not. It doesn't make sense because if you look at any of the other cryptos while the other ones were in their spotlight, it would seem that the other ones weren't reacting enough. But we know that's not the case. So just study the cycles, and it will help alleviate some of your anxiety about these cycles. How high do you think this can top out at? Do I think it will plateau soon? All of them, unless it has scarcity value or some type of utility, if you're just depending on as far as money to move the coin. And if it has like a high ratio or high number of coins that are available, yeah, at some point it will plateau. And at that point, because it'll take a lot of money to move the coin more. And then, of course, that's where utility comes in. That's where how many coins are in circulation comes in. So a few variables in there. But I think that if you have those things, it can give you, as far as for longevity for the coin. Saying how high it can go, especially for Shiba, it's hard to say. Again, I believe that it's in the starting phases of the cycle. I don't have any evidence that institutions are pumping it yet. I don't know the effects of the burn. It's hard to say how high it can go, but it can certainly go. If institutions are indeed not in yet, and we haven't hit that actual FOMO stage, then this can go. It can actually go a lot higher. Let's see here. Ryan Gale, no 10K. I'll donate $10 to your channel though. Thank you, Ryan. Let's see. Good night from Brazil. All right, good night. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. Let's see. Still remember Elon did SNL and Doge fell. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't want to lose money on Shiba right now. Rather watch it long term. I'm not sure what do you mean by the first word, unless you were tagging someone else. But yeah, I guess to clarify, I don't know if that was to me or to you were responding to someone else in the chat. You did a great job. Thank you. Let's see. I took out all my Doge from Robinhood just because not your keys, not your coin. Simply put, yeah, that's one of the catalysts. That's one of the reasons why I don't believe that Shiba being on Robinhood right now, without them having wallets, would be a dramatic situation. It may see some type of boom, but because those wallets aren't out yet, I don't see it having a dramatic effect on the price. So they were able to trade in and out of it, and sure, I can make a case for there being like a big boom or something like that. But those wallets still aren't out yet, and that's going to be a big catalyst for pushing the crypto forward and people saying, okay, well, I feel comfortable buying on Robinhood, so they try and screw me. I'm not necessarily stuck there for selling prematurely than what I would like to. So. Can you buy Shiba now? If you're, so for me, I hate buying things on bull runs. I will, and then if I'm going to do like a hedge, or if I believe that, like in the next, if I'm comfortable switching from like a short term position, if it does consolidate relatively soon, and I don't hedge it enough, and if I'm comfortable switching to a long term because I believe it can realize high gains, then I would. But if you're going to need the money soon, don't invest. So that's a personal decision that you're going to have to make. But if you're going to need the money, and if you know you're short term, don't try and put this in to triple it up by next week or something like that, because that's how you get stuck. And be strategic with your entries too. I mentioned this in my a video I posted the other day. I know it's common in the community. Everyone says average down or buy the dip. Be smart about that. Otherwise, you're going to always be chasing the current price, and you're going to lose your leverage. So if you're going to buy the dip, start looking for like 10%, 15%, and make sure that you're below the current price. And that's if you're short term. If you're long term, coin count matters the most. So you can kind of throw money in there at whatever price if you're long term, and it's not going to matter as much. But if you know you're short term, be strategic when you buy the dip, because if not, you're going to always be your average is always going to be hovering around where the current price is, and you're going to lose your leverage. So just keep that in mind. The fact is Shiba is all-time high and Doge is undervalued. Soon Robinhood will say no, and Doge will have a lot of that money. I mean, I guess that could be a case, but as far as for Robinhood, they make a lot of money on the transactions. So the fact that Shiba has so many transactions now, it would make it attractive for them um, to list it on there. So I don't know if they would say no, but I think it's more so like a management issue. But I can see the potential for that. But I don't think that it's kind of like a catch-22 at Robinhood, because even Doge supporters, I think that they're in the same boat as Shiba if they're picking one or the other, because the wallets are not there. They're kind of not investing like they normally would on Robinhood, and I believe that stopped a while back on Robinhood at least. So once we get those wallets, I believe we can probably see a positive reaction out of both of them. But as of right now, I believe that's the biggest catalyst for people not going as hard as they would on Robinhood. And I believe that's because of those wallets. Do not sell, keep holding. Yeah, if you're gonna if you're long term, definitely hold that. Definitely, especially if they're with the whole burn and stuff like that, cutting the overall supply down, it can certainly help propel the coin a lot faster. So it's definitely up. Let's see. I think Doge will get its place back. Can it compete with Shiba Inu? What you mean by its place? I think that I guess you mean like in the top 10. Because I don't think necessarily they have to compete. I made a video a while back, and I compared the cryptocurrencies to the processing companies of credit transactions. So you have like American Express, MasterCard, Visa. What's the other one? Okay, well, I forgot the other one, but I compared them to several of the credit process, the Discover. That's the other one. But I compared them to um, some of my favorite cryptos to those, and just to kind of give you an idea that you can have multiple cryptocurrencies or companies that function and do the same thing, but they have certain little niches that they can operate in. And so you have kind of like your prestigious line, like American Express, and it's going to give you, perks and stuff like that. But you got to have like really good credit. Visa does debit and credit. So does MasterCard. But Visa has low transaction fees. So you'll see a lot of stores, if you're going to use a card, they're going to say, we prefer Visa. So that's going to be like your Sam's Club or your Costco's and stuff like that. So I think that it's possible that you can have, it doesn't necessarily have to compete, but it's possible that you can have them operate in the same field and do similar things and just have different preferences based off of some unique values that they have. But I don't believe that Doge is dead. And again, I think that the consolidation, I believe that Doge will be in the top 10 again, if that's what you're asking. I do believe that that would certainly be the case. Will SHIB get to $1? That is with the massive burn, like massive. Yes, as of right now, with the amount of coins, no. But if they burn enough, then financially it can make sense, because the coins now, so what's happening is, if you have the amount of coins so let's say you have a lot of coins, and then you have this much coins, and you have this many purchasers, and if the price as far as to what it can come to, if you're bringing the supply down and you're also buying up the available supply, eventually you're going to meet, and at that point, that's kind of where it's going to start pushing up even more aggressively, if that makes sense. So if they are doing like massive burns, and Shiba is able to maintain, or it even has similar growth around like that time, and it has like that meeting, you're going to see the momentum and the amount of money being put in really cause like that push. And then that's another scenario where you can really see some explosive growth. So some variables on there, but the odds are, right now it'd be difficult or like financially impossible right now based off the amount of coins. But if they get that coin count down, especially with the amount of people holding and the amount of money coming in, then you could certainly make a case for it. The fact of the matter is, with or without Robinhood, Shiba is doing well. It just means the coin has a larger audience. That's exactly right. That is how I feel. Robinhood is just going to open it up to a broader audience, which it can translate into a higher price. But Again, I don't think that most people are being limited to not buying Shiba because it's not on Robinhood. Like they're finding ways to make that happen. So, but I agree with that completely. Coinbase is crashing again right now, by the way. Look at the volume on Sheep. Wow. Yeah, no, I believe that. Shiba is probably going to break some more all time highs relatively soon. Yeah, the volume here is crazy. I don't know who any of like the large wallets are to like try and, or if they did like a sell off to kind of get it going the other way. But like if like with the buy ratio compared to the sell ratio that I seen that day, it reminded me of the Doge run back in around like March, April. When you start seeing that 80, 90% buy hold compared to like a 10% sell, that's a strong push. Like it's hard to stop that. It really is. It's really hard to stop that. So um, yeah, it's hard to say how far that's going to actually push the coin up or what the all time high is going to be. It's hard to stop that momentum. Let's see. Can Shiba attain 0.005 cents within 2 or 3 years? Yeah, if they continue burning, yeah, it's not like none of those the odds of those numbers are never necessarily zero. It just really depends off of how many they support their community and how many coins they get rid of. The greater the support, the more coins they get rid of, the likelihood of these prices increases greatly. So it really just depends off of how. But ultimately, right now, money doesn't necessarily seem to be the issue. So it's just the coin supply. So if they can get enough of those coins down, then you can start to see the price of those increase dramatically. So thanks, Vicky, for the super chat. But yeah, it's definitely possible. You just have to get that coin count down. That's going to be the biggest catalyst because money is not an issue right now. It's doing very well financially. So the only thing that's going to trip it up is that overall coin supply. Let's see. But they start everything with people, yada, yada, yada. Fake news, fake everything. Yeah, they have the catalyst, and I've spoken that a number of times. There's a different catalysts that are going to um, like push the coin. And I also saw that I know that they're changing as far as like the momentum, and they took back like a lot of the slogans and stuff like that. So it's at the end of the day, I know that despite the origins, but I know at the end of the day, the community overall has the say so. And it's the same thing in the stock market. There's a lot of CEOs or business practices that you may not necessarily agree with, but the market ultimately determines who goes where and the level, and ultimately that's driven by profits. And despite certain things, that it's not well, it's never geared toward emotions for like the most part. So because the market doesn't necessarily care about your emotions. Most of this is driven by profit and opportunity. And typically, if it's not something absolutely scandalous, it's been proven that most of the time it'll get overlooked in the pursuit of profit. So, but I understand what you're saying, but you just gotta kind of keep that in mind too. I've spoken that on a couple of videos in the past as well. So, hope that answers your question. Sheep hold to 0.1, Doge hold to $1. Let's go. Absolutely. Coinbase is crashing. Yeah, that volume has been crazy. And that, again, this is why Robinhood is not going to touch it. Robinhood is not going to touch Shiba right now. It would be financial suicide for like Robinhood to touch Shiba right now and to have that many people angry again, especially after their earnings statement and the new users and stuff that came out recently, like that disappointment. Yeah, they're not like if Shiba was on the top of the pile right now, like after that and after they're seeing these crashes, they're taking Shiba and like whoop. Yeah, so it'll definitely be probably sometime next year before they do that. They have a lot of internal issues to kind of fix. So I don't see that happening soon right now. Look, it's a profit boom for Shiba. Then it's not. Then it's not. It is just a ride when you feel good. Um, Not sure what you mean by that. I guess you mean let's take profits when you want. Um, what do I think about Sheeb? Does it keep going up? It's possible. Yeah, I don't see as of right now, with the amount of money coming in and the buy ratio compared to the sell. Yeah, there's no reason for it not to continue going up. Like when you have 90% buy and 10% sell, that's overwhelming demand. That's why Coinbase is struggling right now. When you have that kind of demand, you can't, like, you don't have one direction. You have nowhere to go but up. So at some point, people will take profits, obviously, because no one is making a donation. But when, as of right now, you're going to have to monitor those trends. But if you look on um, like the top searches, top like hashtags and stuff like that, most of them are pertaining to Shiba. So that is it's trending in multiple countries, multiple sites. So with that kind of demand, you can expect it to kind of go up. But just keep in mind that the this candle is pretty much already started. So at some point they're going to take profit. So just make sure you decide if you're long term or short term. If you're short term, but if you're short term now and you want to convert to long term, just make sure that you are not investing money that you're going to need relatively soon. So don't say like I'm long term, but if it has a correction period, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's dead, but you shouldn't be investing something that you're going to need back next week. So just gonna keep that in mind. Let's see. Let's see. Hope people still believe in Doge. Legit future. Yeah, I don't think people are. I mean, I know most people. A lot of people are going to have shiny object syndrome, and they're going to chase gains and stuff like that. But I think that there's room to coexist, and I don't like saying it's one or the other because I don't feel like that's necessary because that doesn't exist in the stock market. So I don't think that it should here. So, but I know everyone has their own opinions. Let's see. Sherry. Oh, thank you, Sherry. I appreciate you. Let's see. We're at 166 likes. Let's see. If you haven't liked the video yet, can you please do so? I normally don't do my lives for that long, but I don't think I've gotten 200 while I was actually still alive. Normally I get them um, afterwards. So if you haven't liked the video yet, please do so. I appreciate it. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please consider doing so if I've said anything of value for you. Let's see. One goes up, one goes down, or both go up and down. Yeah, that's pretty much yeah, technically a stock can only move three ways: up, down, and sideways. So that's yeah, but everything has their cycles. Though I see you're in a conversation there. So um, Doge will be over $1 now, but she even well community manipulation. I don't think Doge not being over $1 is directly linked to Sheeb. I do believe that the like the baby Doges and Dogecoin's wife and all this other kind of stuff, those are like blatant cash grabs, like extremely blatant, like a lime green car blatant, like really loud. So I know that those kind of had a pull on it, but it's really even charting Doge and other cryptos this year. It's difficult because we're in such a new territory, and we even with retail, like even earlier this year, I didn't account for the fact that a lot of people are going to not be long term and kind of chase the money around. I had to kind of keep that in mind now and compare that to a retail and say, not retail, I had to compare that to institutions and kind of say that, okay, well, institution is going to be stable. The institutions are going to be more stable than retail because institutions are going to pretty much spread their money around and not necessarily chase the gains because they're going to be creating them. But retail, if it's a cryptocurrency that is booming, of course, then most people are going to like move their money around. So, or just really not have the patience because one of the biggest things that gets overlooked in the stock market and in crypto is discipline and patience. So when you don't have those, you're going to have these large fluctuations, and money pulls away from things because it didn't perform as fast as they did, or as fast as they were thought that. Well, I guess as fast as they were anticipated that they were going to do. So, but whale and community manipulation, that is, especially the whales, that's something we're going to have to combat. But I think that when we have utility and we're having coins like Doge and Bitcoin being accepted by businesses, that'll help them be large wallets to kind of offset necessarily whales pumping and dumping these different coins. But there's whales in all aspects. They're in the stock market. They're in most of the companies. They're there. I don't know if there's any way around it. We certainly haven't seen whales unless you're going to limit the amount of coins or shares someone can own. So they're always going to be there. But I think that with great strategy and hedging, you can still turn amazing profits in your investment despite whales being in the market. So, but I don't think that it's directly related to Shiba as far as it not being a dollar. But I do agree that if some of those coins in there weren't allowed to be direct plays, Doge would have certainly peaked or or be consolidating a little higher than what it is right now. So I can definitely agree with that. Have I seen the Safe Moon pump? I have not heard about it, so I haven't looked at it just recently. Sorry, give me a moment. My feed just refreshed, so it just pushed everything up. I pushed the like button before I even watch you. You're the nicest, kindest man with a good heart. I appreciate you, Vicky. Thank you. Was that you're up, what, 8,000 pounds on Shiba today? Yeah, congratulations. 50 billion Shiba tokens. Congrats. Absolutely. Let's see. Um, the longer Robinhood puts this off, the more it will gain. Yeah, you talking about Shiba or the amount of for Robinhood? I know I've said it a few times on here, but I believe it's strategic that Robinhood is not listing them. Needs to get a means to the amount of coin types being made. Yeah, I think that in time we're going to see more regulation as far as for who can make coins, and kind of maybe even put like some barriers to entry into the market. But right now, I think that there's so much going on and so many investigations, even with the SEC and the stock market side, that they haven't had the time to kind of like buckle down on crypto yet. But Gary Gensler, the chairman of the SEC, he's already called the crypto market the Wild West earlier this year. So, and I know he wanted to do some protections for rug pulls and stuff in the market. So we just have to keep an eye on that. I mentioned that a number of times, and I do believe that the stock market, especially the crypto market, are great means to generate wealth relatively quickly. But there's a lot of corruption and disadvantages for retail in the stock market. And as the community and as pioneers of the crypto market, we have to make sure that we don't mirror those into the crypto market, because we see a lot of the issues here. And a lot of you are in the GameStop plays or like the AMC plays. You see the manipulation, you see the lies, you see the market makers having positions in every aspect of the transaction of a stock. So, there's incentives to compile information and use it against you. We know that all these things exist. We just have to make sure that the crypto market remains transparent, and that those laws aren't written to benefit whales or institutions. Because if we're not careful, we're going to get an exact carbon copy of what we've already seen. So, and I believe that's our responsibility to kind of be informed and make sure that doesn't happen. Let's see. Long-term hold. Yeah, that's the way to go. Holding long-term is the way to go. Most of us, as far as for the length of time that you hold, most of us pick the right investments. We just don't hold them long enough. We don't have the patience or the discipline. And I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people in this chat room right now who sold a position too soon. Probably even Doge and Shiba. Most of us know what to buy. We just don't have the discipline to hold long enough. So it's not necessarily even information now that holds us back. It's our patience. But long term, you're far more likely to lose money short term than you are long term. The crypto market in general is going to appreciate. Like I said, I don't know if all of you were in one earlier, but the crypto market's entire net worth right now, this is mentioned on EYL, is around $2.1 trillion. Apple alone is worth $2 trillion. Now, if you take that in context, that gives you an idea of how many multiples we're going to see the crypto market do in general. If you have one company on the stock market who's equal in value to all of crypto, what does that say about the crypto market for the next decade? You are all pioneers in the crypto market. It's in its infancy stages. So just be patient, pick your quality coins, and you're going to be very pleased with the decisions that you've made this year. Sheep Army. So thank you. Oh, was that Philip? Thank you. Let's see. Doge is going to rise. Where do you think Doge stands right now? Stands as in terms of what? I think it's in a consolidation period, but let's be more specific. I don't think that it's dead or anything, but I can answer that better if you're more specific. Hold on, my feed just refreshed, so give me a second. Guilty as charged, took positions, held, will double my sheep position. Yeah, it has a lot. Yeah, most of us, again, there's a lot of information out there. Most of us have the capacity to make great decisions as far as for our investments. Most of us, we can get onto things relatively early. You just got to have patience and disciplines to kind of stick it through. What do I think of Hood? I'm assuming you're talking about the stock and not overall the company's position with Shiba. I don't hold any. I bought some at opening. I sold it around like $50. I didn't short it or put any puts or anything like that, but I don't. There's a lot of uncertainty now. I don't think, as of right now, I believe that they can survive. I don't think that they're necessarily finished unless they do something else. I think that it's possible for them to mend what they've done over the last year or so. But for me, I'm not holding any, and I don't have any interest as of now. I'm going to have to see. I'll probably take another look at the beginning of the year. But as of right now, I'm not a big fan as far as for holding their stock, but I do believe that they can survive. So maybe I'm missing out on that, but I don't think that they've done anything to kind of indicate whether they're finished at this point. From Brandon, $5 super. What? Robinhood lists Shiba with wallets, then Tesla for Doge. Shiba money into Doge. Doge $3 to $4. Okay, so you're saying Tesla accepts Doge and Robinhood lists Shiba with wallets. Yeah, I can see the catalyst for having that pump with Robinhood, but depending, because I know a lot of people have I know for a fact a lot of people stopped purchasing coins on Robinhood because they don't have the wallets, and that's why I don't think Shiba is going to make that big of a difference on Robinhood until they get wallets. But the Tesla and Doge, the Doge One rocket, yeah, those are great catalysts to pretty much get Doge like a press run, as well as adding some utility on the Tesla side as well. So I can certainly see a big pump as far as for Doge on that. I can certainly make a case for that. Ethereum has its own issues. Cost of entry does not have room to move dramatically. I don't know. I'm long on Ethereum, but I believe that Ethereum has because all coins have their issues and their drawbacks, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a five-figure Ethereum. So again, we are in the infancy stages of the market. Think, I know most of us have a grown to accustomed to thinking about like the next week or the next few months, but again, Apple is nearly equal in value to the entire crypto market. The crypto market is going to do multiples as a whole. Don't think just right now. Think about like when you think about Bitcoin and Ethereum, ADA and stuff like that. Think the next 5 to 10 years. Think about the crypto market being worth 4 trillion, 6 trillion, 10 trillion. Then ask yourself, where is that money going to go? And when you answer those questions, that's where you put your money, and you simply wait. And I'm telling you, it's going to be a beautiful thing. I should probably pin this point in the video, but it's going to be a beautiful thing over the next 5 to 10 years. Let's see. Also, Robinhood just announced cap for, so $5 super chat from Brandon. Robinhood just announced cap for crypto raise from 350K limit to 5 million. This is huge for Doge. Okay, I didn't know that. Let's certainly add a huge benefit there. I didn't know that. So it seems like a lot of stuff is, not sure if I'm just out of the loop on there or not, but a lot of stuff is happening while I'm on here. Is Coinbase still down or glitching? Let's see. I have 500 shares of Hood at $42. Yeah, just hold on. I mean, they had it was a little disappointing, the growth and stuff that came out yesterday. So just hang on. Like again, they haven't done anything long term where I believe that they're finished right now. So, but I know that typically with Robinhood, I kind of took a gamble, but I felt like they were going to pump after the IPO listing, and it just turns out I was right. But I didn't think that they were going to be, going to go over like $100 or something like that. So that's why I took profits. But as of right now, you don't realize losses until you sell. And again, I do believe that Robinhood can survive overall if they don't do anything else damaging. So if you're long term or whatnot, just don't just keep your eye on them. And you want not, if it dips down below and stuff like that, you're not going to realize those gains to those losses until you sell. I'm not even sure what Hood prices are right now. I stopped tracking it after I sold. Let's see. Let's not forget AMC. No, never. I still have all of my AMC shares. I started buying AMC at like $8. So even one of my averages on E-Trade is like $10. So yeah, haven't forgot about AMC actually. Let's see. When I think Doge will hit 30 cents. Those hit 30 cents even after the consolidation. But as right now, I do believe there's a pull on the market in general for Shiba, just because when you have something doing those types of numbers that quickly, it's attractive. Like it is what it is. Like, so, and again, I've seen people today selling 10, 20, $30,000 of Bitcoin to put into Shiba. And I seen them do it this morning and they were up, 20% or so by the end of the day. So, it's not, I can say now, as long as Shiba is having this kind of run, the simultaneously. So the thing is, the reason I say that all coins don't run at the same time, it'll be difficult for, especially when you have something that's being led by retail, it'll be difficult for a Shiba and a Doge to run at the same time. When you see things like Bitcoin and the entire market lift up, That's why I always say that's institutional money, because unless retail got together with, um, $100 billion at 3 a.m. and said, let's all invest in crypto at the exact same time, and that's why you see the crypto charts being identical, that's institutional money. And so that's why it's easier for those companies to for those coins to kind of run together and chart identical paths. But when you have something like Doge and Shiba, who is going to be primarily owned and invested in by retail, you typically are going to have like one or the other. So while Doge is running, Shiba is going to be here, and then vice versa. So um, when so as of right now, I don't say that it will. Like last time I looked at Doge, it was actually trending downward, and again, I believe that's because of that pull. So I don't think that as long as Shiba is running, we're not going to see a push to 30 cents. Logic Neo, new here. Welcome to the channel. I appreciate all of you. I haven't said it in a while. If you haven't liked the video yet and I've said anything of value, please do. And if you are new here and if I've said anything of value, please consider subscribing as well. Let's see. $5 from modern. Let's see. Doge and Sheeb could have been friendly competitors and helped each other, but Sheeb created a bloodthirsty environment. A sheep killer is inevitable now. I mean, so I kind of addressed something similar to that earlier and even in past videos. So the catalyst for that was built on was certainly malicious, and I think that it was marketing at its best. And I think that what Shiba's done is they're pretty much doing like a rebranding stage to kind of get away from that and build out on it to pretty much just kind of create their own utility and get their coin count down. And I think that overall we all have our favorite coins. We have our, like I said, a bunch of times, I'm loyal to Apple and all these coins, all these stock companies, these technology companies that have like a cult following. And I'm in it with Apple. And short term, yeah, you can have like those emotions and stuff, but just don't let it cloud your judgment financially for long term. Now, long term, short term, it does play a big part, but long term innovation and everything is going to play that part there. But we'll have to see, because the backbone of any of these, of any stock, of any crypto is going to be the community. So we'll see how things play out and what's the innovation going to be behind both Shiba and Doge going forward. So we just got to keep in mind that don't just understand you have like your feelings and your favorites, but don't always lead with emotion. At the end of the day, the market and your portfolio doesn't keep track of emotions, and it doesn't necessarily care about emotions as well. So just got to keep that in mind. This is a ploy by the bigger forces. This is by Brandon paying $5 super chat. This is a ploy by bigger forces to get retail in. It's a good story. Couldn't have stripped it better. 2 top 10 meme coins battle it out. The world will know. Yeah, I think that even in the cycle, the wealth flow chart, I think that what happens is when we have the institutions come in, and you have the FOMO, you build up those bases. So I think that even when you break the top 10 and you start getting in like that top 6 range, you pretty much are building a floor of newer investors. So that gives the opportunity for institutions to move in and out of a crypto without worrying about crashing it to zero, because you're going to have a lot of retail in there to kind of create like those new floors for you. So that's why on that chart, I have an arrow going up after each cycle, because historically you have an all-time high, you have the 50 to 80% crash, and then it rallies to an all-time high again, which is obviously higher than the last all-time high. And then you have the 50 to 80% crash, and the cycle just keep repeating. But this cycle is trending upward. So I can agree with that statement, but it is very interesting to see how this plays out with the two meme coins. being in the top 10 or being close to the top 10, because it'll certainly be very interesting if both Doge and Shiba is in the top 10. That'll certainly be very, very interesting. So I can certainly understand your point of view on that. Let's see here. Oh, sorry, my chat just refreshed again. I don't know. I guess it's lagging behind a little bit, but it just refreshed and pushed everybody's comment up. Let's see. Shiba's here to stay. My first love is Doge, and always, but looks like a lot is planned for Shiba. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it a while back, but I don't want that to be, for me, I don't want that to be in the cryptocurrency world where you got to have one or the other, because in the stock market, they're all there for profits, and they have different beliefs on how to generate those profits and different strategies, but they're certainly not saying that I'm only going to buy this one stock, and this one stock has to propel me. And because this one stock, because I own Apple, I'm never going to buy a Microsoft stock, or Apple has its cars coming out soon. I own Apple car. I'll never buy a Tesla stock. Like, you're not going to have those kinds of conversations in the stock market. So that's one thing I don't want to necessarily breed or perpetuate in the crypto market as well, because at the end of the day, you're making investment decisions to obviously be a part of the innovation and make the world a better place and stuff like that. But you're ultimately, driving profit for your family and yourself later when you need it. So don't get caught up in the short terms or these community beefs, because at the end of the day, it's going to be fruitless for the actual community and certainly for your portfolio. So just kind of keep that in mind. Like, even Warren Buffett doesn't go all in on one stock. I made a video, I think yesterday, discussing going all in on different stocks and stuff like that. So Lululand, gotta diversify. Yeah, just don't go too thin, but yeah, I agree in that. I think that certainly spreading out. I like to try and have at least 5 or so, but just don't go too thin that you can't get enough of coins or stocks to fill a rally. But certainly kind of spread out a little bit there. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Good night. Good night. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. What is it? Agel? Thanks. What's my opinion on Dwack? I like Dwack a lot. If everything goes well with the site, you can see like consolidations for a lot of the, I guess you can call it like fun and stuff. You can call them a lot of like the Trump stocks and stuff. You can see a consolidation much higher than before this initial pump. So it's possible that you can never see those prices again. And again, if everything goes smoothly with this website and things work out and it has like a large user base, you can see prices much higher than where it is right now, even after a pullback. So it may not be a bad idea to go long on that. I don't have any more Dwack. I sold mine, but I do have fun. So again, I'll be long term on that, because I believe it has the potential to really grow and kind of piggyback off of the success of that website. So I guess if you're on the innovation side, you can kind of hold on to that. But I don't believe that it's necessarily at a loss right now if you're in the red. Is our famous doggy really dead? No, I don't think Dogecoin is dead. I believe it's in a consolidation state. All cryptos go through that stage. So I can't say that Dogecoin is dead. It hasn't done anything abnormally based off of the history. Now, next year, we'll have another year to kind of average into the cycles and stuff. So maybe it'll indicate something else. But as of right now, based off the history that we have, it hasn't done anything abnormally to indicate that it is dead. We can't forget about Doge Ethereum bridge. Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of catalysts coming up. Doge Ethereum, Doge AMC, Doge One Rocket. There's a lot of catalysts coming up. That's why I don't believe Doge is dead. Not at all. Highest you can think Dogecoin can go by the end of the year. That's really hard to say. A lot of pulls on the market, and a lot of things that I didn't account for earlier, like a lot of the Doge's wife and all the kind of stuff like that, and pulling out of the market. It's difficult to give a projection now. And Adam even said that the Doge AMC integration won't be done until he'll have Bitcoin and Ethereum done by, I believe, Christmas or something. But Dogecoin's integration won't be done until the first quarter of next year. So that's one of the bigger catalysts I was looking forward to seeing by Christmas as well. So it's hard to do a um, like a prediction as far as on that. But if we haven't broken the cycle, because if we're still in the same cycle but we just shorten it, but let's say we shorten it initially and we're in the consolidation period now based off of history, then we could have a few more months where Doge being where it is. But if the cycle is going to pick up like the trajectory that we had a few months ago, we can certainly see Doge around its all-time highs, or even in the 80, like the 80. I had to run the numbers again, but I think it was like 83 or something like that. But again, it's a lot of catalysts playing around on that. Don't quote me on the 83. I have to check my numbers again. But I'll make a post about that, put that in the email that I send out. But the numbers, as far as we're reaching that trajectory, we're kind of going to have to um, see how that plays out as far as from the market trend. But it's possible that we have a few more months of Doge sitting where it is if we're operating off of the old one. And it's hard to say if we have a new one yet, because again, this is only the first like year or so with the new money in here. So we're going to have to average those numbers in there. How about Little Bunny Rocket? Um, I've honestly never heard of that. Let's go Doge, Shiba, Ethereum Bridge, and be done with it. Then everyone is happy. Yeah, just put them all on there, huh? I want to buy Shiba, but I'm scared that there will be a huge correction as soon as I jump in. Should I take a chance? Um, it Decide on how you're going to play the money. If Are you going to be long term or are you going to be short term? But if you're scared or if you need the money soon, invest money that you don't need right away. Because I think that's one of the biggest issues with a lot of the community is they're not deciding whether or not they are um, short-term investors or long-term investors, and they are pretty much just, I'm going to put money in and take it out when it looks right, and then of course you end up having a correction because at some point it will. So if you're not hedging or if you don't have that number in mind beforehand, how are you going to know when to take profits? Because you're not going to be like, oh, it looks right before it crashes, because you're not going to time the market. So you're going to have to decide how you're going to play the coin beforehand. If you're long term, it's not going to matter as much. So coin count is going to matter the most. But if you're short term or you're going to need the money relatively soon, just invest what you don't need and set your goal up. Say, I want 30%, 40%, and don't get greedy. Greed has costs. I know it's cost me a lot of money being lost as far as being greedy. So don't stick to your numbers. Don't let a YouTuber or a news article or anything try and convince you otherwise. Stick to your guns. Can be. Thanks for the stream. That no problem. Dogezilla. Is that a real thing? Wow. I put that on my, okay. Well, I don't know if that's real or not, but I'm gonna put it on my list of research. I haven't heard of Dogezilla yet. I'm not up to date on put that on my list here. Dogezilla. I wouldn't even be surprised though, but I have not heard of Dogezilla. Okay, it's still new. Okay, up 300% today. Wow. Okay, I'll put that on my list. Baby Doge, Doge's wife, Dogezilla, Doge's uncle, all those. So I'm going to look up Dogezilla though. I have not heard of that. bought some sheep. An hour later, you were $13 up. Yeah, congrats, Susan. Yeah. That was great timing. Big Uncle Diamond Dogezilla's wife is definitely going to take over Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm telling you. I can't forget about that. Hey, look, I'm waiting on baby Costco and baby Walmart. Like they're gonna, I'm telling you, we're going to the moon. Marketing sitting where it is because someone pumped 11 million in a sheep today. Yeah, I bet. That was a lot of money. I gotta have to check the numbers when I get off of here, but she was the amount that buy sell ratio was insane. It is like they were killing it. Thoughts on Safe Moons? Yeah, Safe Moon could be up next. I don't know. I'm gonna look at. I don't own any Safe Moon. I'm gonna look at some of the catalysts for some more coins to kind of see what's going to be like the catalyst because I don't like spreading myself too thin, but the gains that are running through the crypto market are insane. So I know that a lot of people are just putting money, kind of spreading it out, and like, okay, well, if I lose it, fine. But like these pumps are insane. I haven't. I got asked about SafeMoon like a while ago, and I never took interest to it because I didn't want any. I knew that the expansion of crypto was coming, but I just didn't know that a lot of these coins were going to have certain catalysts or were they going to be cash grabs. So I got to do some more research into SafeMoon, but that is on my list. And I covered like my top 5 a while ago, so I'll do a refresher and I'll make sure to include SafeMoon. Let's see. Baby Walmart. I'm telling you, Baby Walmart's coming. Don't sleep on Baby Walmart. I'm joking, by the way, because they may actually have a Baby Walmart, so I don't want anybody commenting like he told me to buy it and they rug pulled it. So I'm joking. I'm being sarcastic if you can't catch that. Baby Tesla. Yeah, I'm telling you. Baby Tesla's uncle, stepsister to the moon. um, let's see. Um, baby Elo. Yeah. I'm telling you, like it's telling you, like if Doge and Shiba keep going up, we're gonna have little Rottweiler. Like I'm like, just keep your eyes open, man. You never know. Let's see. Last year was DeFi. Now it's NFT meme season. Yeah, we're gonna have a cycle. Maybe I need to take a broader approach and look at the differences between DeFi and include NFT and stuff like that. Once I get some more data, I can see if there's a chart with some similarities in there for NFTs and include that as well. I'm gonna put that on my notes as well for something to do. That's a great point. That's something I can certainly look into. Let's see. Again, if you have not liked the chat, please consider doing so. We're 25 away from 300. And if you are not part of the family, as in subscribe to the channel, please consider doing so if I provided any value for you. Let's see. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap it up for the night. I appreciate talking with all of you. I haven't got the schedule yet for like the lives, but I'm probably going to incorporate them into a couple times this week, maybe Sundays and Wednesdays. But as of right now, I'll kind of put out like a notice ahead of time. And I'm working on another video tomorrow. It'll be pertaining somewhat to Doge and Shiba in the market. So I think that it'll provide a lot of value for all of you. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you. And again, if you have not, because we're trying to get to, I'm trying to get to 36,000 subscribers relatively soon. I think we're like 40 away. So if you haven't yet, definitely subscribe. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. And until next time.